Hello and welcome to today's episode of brand new Reseller Information Network. Last week we were so excited to have Pocket Change podcast with us, but we are on number 62 today. You know, now we could almost draw our social security checks on the low end, of security. We're at 62. We're reaching that retirement age, but we're not going anywhere because we'll be here right on. Thank you guys for watching last week. I did have a couple comments I wanted to make mention of. Like I said, it was great to have on the Pocket Change podcast. We had some other comments there from Listing and Loafing. For those of you guys don't know, last week we ran a marathon last Saturday on the One Stop Shop. We were on there for 9+ hours and had a lot of great people sell a lot of great things. However, from this week's Listing and Loafing, we had a comment from BAA Sports Angel. This one, I believe, is for you, Cernoch. Says, keep the jacket! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. People are like, what is he talking about? You know what you're going to have to do? Tune in Tuesdays, Listing and Loafing from 9 a.m. to 12 Eastern, and you can see what's going on. Sometimes we have a little show and tell on there. Sometimes we talk about what we're listing, and sometimes we debate whether we should hold on to something that we bought or let it go, one or the other. So we're working on that. Trash Cat Rescue says, Tim told us about Pocket Change a few weeks ago, and I binged, and now I'm hooked. So excited to see my favorite podcast on one show. Now, if we can get everybody together at the 127, I think it needs to happen. Then we can boo Joe in person, is what he said. We do thank Jacqueline Rose. Man, what a valued member of our community. Thank you so much. Said, what a marathon, heart. And then Jimmy chimes in. Old School Flip says, thanks for having us on, guys. I always enjoy learning and laughing with you guys. Keith Vincent Sports Flip says, what a hilarious episode. Love the Pocket Change boys. And Tim, absolutely epic outro. Pocket Change needs to adopt that as we do actually have rights to that. If someone else is trying to use that, Tim will need a cut off your agreed upon amount.
I could use that right about now.
We're going to use that. So, all right. But we're going to go ahead and jump into today's episode. As always, we're joined by my cohorts, Leroy, Tim, and Cernoch. We are trying to continue to bring you educational value as resellers and keep you entertained as well as we do so. Today, we've got a special episode.
We're going to thank our members.
Yeah. We need to do that. Tim's getting the vocal cords kind of warmed up.
I was like, I don't want to waste that last sip of ginger.
It's going. All right, let's thank our channel members.
Oh, thank you to AZ Katsu, Simply Shenanigans, Diane Matthews, our very known Blood, Sweat, and Spell, Trash Cat Rescue, New England, Betty Boo, No Heels, Vintage Sport Flips, Charities, Terrific Finds, Kathleen the Burn Wave Flipper, Ohio Pickers, Annette and Frank, Woodley Retro, Absolute Finds, Des Hardy, Heather Bedler, James Steinbreaker, Old Pass, High Plains Flipper, Walter Tilton, Black Sheep Society, Jeff Pile Picker, Mark Rollins, Tracer James Trading, Aaron Vaughn, Central Iowa Pickle, and Wiggle Room 9.
Ooh, thank you so much. Thank you so much to all those.
Everybody's ears if it sounds different than normal because I'm not in the studio and that might sound crazy in somebody's ear.
It's actually a little quiet. It's a little quiet.
We'll see.
A little volume quiet. All right. We got her. Hey, so we did want to take today to talk about something that we all use as resellers. Networking is a huge part of what we do. And so Leroy had actually brought to the stage today, just wanted to talk a little bit about his contacts, and we're all going to chime in as well. So, Leroy, tell us a little bit about maintaining your contacts and how did you even find them to begin with?
So that's a good question. So there's 3 or 4 different little parts of this. First, it's how do you find the contacts? One of the main things, Tim, Cernoch, Eric, we all tell you is open your mouth, say what you do, talk to people, let them know what you do. That's the easiest way to get a contact. Or once you make a deal, and ask them questions just like you would at a yard sale. You got any more of this? You got any more of that? And you'll see, they'll start looking for stuff if they know that they can just sell it to you. So that's how I find my contacts. How about you guys?
Well, for me, I think a lot of it is planting the seed, right? Like for example, I go to the card shop, my local card shop, and they know what I do. And he linked me with a guy who was trying to get rid of some stuff. And like I went there and I didn't buy like a whole lot, but like I made that connection, and also I showed the person that I got the connection from that like I'm a lot, I'm gonna show up and make things work if he puts me in connection with somebody else. So it's definitely letting people know what you do is planting the seed, because a lot of times, sometimes it doesn't always work out, but a lot of times people are like, oh, Tim sells. They love to say, Tim, don't you sell antiques? And then they'll be like, like, hey, I got all this stuff. You want to take a look at it? So, like planting the seed by letting people know what you do. So sometimes I think people are like afraid to tell people that they're resellers. I think that that's the best thing. And then one thing that I know like that Cernoch did that I probably should find a way to do is like the cards. I know it's so old school, right? But like sometimes when you go to these places, these people are old school people, and they want a good old fashioned business card. So I think that's another thing that's super important. It's a lot of little things, but you got to use your people skills, and I think a lot of that too comes down to oh, there you go, Leroy. A lot of it comes down to how being well mannered also. People are a lot more willing to like take care of you, hook you up, call you back and stuff like that if you're just naturally well mannered and polite. I think that those are some of the like introductory level things to kind of start building connections.
Yeah. I think it's also about vibing with the people too. Like if you're on a good vibe and you're getting good, interactions, that's when I usually go into because if I'm at the flea market and guy's got hats, but he's kind of a jerk about stuff, it's kind of like I don't know if I want to do business with that dude, But if I strike up a great conversation with someone, and or like a lot of times I'm at a garage sale and it's a family garage sale, so it'll be like an aunt or an uncle that brought a little bit of their stuff, but you get to talking to them and like, oh man, I've got a whole bunch of whatever you're looking for, hats, t-shirts, whatever, glass, tools, whatever. Oh, I got a whole bunch of that at home. That's where those business cards, putting it into someone's hand. Now, that's a little bit, now if it's a younger person, hey, drop your Instagram, hey, hit me on this. But again, a lot of the stuff that we're looking for is like the older stuff. And the older stuff is in older houses with older people. And older people with older houses with older stuff, like business cards. So here's the thing. You can go online right now. Like I pulled mine up right here.
Vistaprint, yeah.
Vistaprint or gotprint.com or like a whole bunch. And you can get 500 business cards for like
30
$20
bucks.
Ship. Yeah, 20 bucks ship. So invest in your business. The cool thing too, a lot of these places like Vistaprint, Gotprint, there's 100 different like printing sites online. But listen, they do business cards. They also do the 4x6, cards that you can get print up. put those in your packages. Maybe you're doing auctions or even eBay, Poshmark. Slide that in. Hey, I have one that says, "Hey, thank you so much. Here, we strive for 5 stars. A great rating. If anything, please contact us if you have any other questions. And then you get those. Then you get another one. Put a coupon in there for next time. Hey, here's a coupon. And then if you want to go, hey, build your business even more, make some stickers. Make some stickers. Now, stickers are way more expensive than, there you go. Stickers are way more expensive than the business cards. So if you're a little strapped on your budget, start out with some business cards. Because that's a great, and mine, people laugh when they see me, when they laugh when they see me and my business cards. Now, my business cards basically have a bunch of old hats on it, and all it says in big letters is "I buy old hats."
Yes.
And then at the bottom of it, it has my information. It has my name, my email, and my phone number. Because again, and I tell them, hey, if you come across something, just text it to me. Oh, I put like where I'm from too, Martinsburg, West Virginia, just because if it's farther out, they'll know. Oh, this guy's in Martinsburg, so so I can be like, hey, where you're at, But again, placing that card in someone's hand, you never know. It's worked. Now listen, is it going to work every single time? No. I may give out 50 cards and get 1 or 2 phone calls from that. But here's the thing: those 1 or 2 phone calls could be major, which it has been for me. Okay, I gave a lady a phone thing. She just texted me, hey, this is so and so. I got your card last year from the yard sale. We have a whole bunch of hats we just found that we're getting rid of. We're gonna sell them on Facebook Marketplace, but I thought you would want to come see them first. Well, guess what? Guess what they had left to sell on Marketplace? Nothing. I bought it all. Okay. That buy, I bought it for $200, I believe. That had a $500 hat in it. It was the shark tooth, dead stock, brand new with tags, Chicago Blackhawks logo, athletic, all wool hat. So you know what I'm talking about, And then another one, Tim and I were on the Route 11 yard crawl. We went to I think it was wasn't it like the Masonic Temple or whatever down there?
Yeah, it was something like that. Knights of Columbus or something like that.
Yeah, and so I gave one of those old dudes my card, because we were talking about hats. Gave one of the old guys my card. Dude, 6 months later, he rings me up. Hey, is this Chris? You still buy old hats? I'm like, yeah. And guess what? We met. He drove down here because they had a meeting in Martinsburg. So he drove down here with all the hats, and it was a huge come up. So again, those two, for spending $20 on business cards, I made that money back so much from just 2 phone calls about hats, because you never know who's going to pull that card out and go, oh man, and just text you or call you. So yeah, business cards are a big deal.
And the only thing you can do is when they call you, like for me, I don't have a huge, I don't have, hold on. Okay. For me, I don't have a lot of money. Okay. So when they call you, if you don't have any capital, you just say, you know what, right now, I'm not looking for that kind of stuff. Or I just got a load last week. Can I still come by and look at it? You come, and if they say, no, we're not interested, then you just say okay. But I know Eric has to go, and then I want to ask, how do you maintain that contact? And then my last question is going to be posing the cons on having those contacts. So keep that in mind, guys.
For me, make contacts. You guys already know. Like, these guys have all picked with me. There's 2 things I love to do. One is talk to people. I enjoy it. I enjoy like when I'm out picking. like getting to know folks. Like there's approaches that I use that are true approaches. Like when I ask people about hats, I always go back to my granddad. My granddad was a farmer. He had hats. He had an enclosed, screened-in porch, and dude, one wall of that porch was nothing but hats. And he had his go-to-town hats. He had his work hats. You know, he had his hats that he never wore that somebody gave him, but he didn't really care much for them. But he'll just set them on top of the fridge right there. But like when I think back to that, for me, it was the thing like when Cernoch started talking about like hats had value. I was like, dude, I remember seeing a bunch of this stuff when I was a kid, and I'd always wore baseball caps myself. So it's like one of those things for me. When I look at that, I can equate that to if you're out picking and you run up on some dude who's wearing an old hat or got some hats, or hey, you're just at the right place. Like sometimes, like I've been on the 301 yard sale with honestly, I was picking with Sean Bargain Resale, and the two of us were riding together, and we passed this tobacco like field, massive tobacco field. There's an old house, looked like it needed a paint job on that road. Guess what was out there? Yard sale. And I was like, bro, this is the kind of place that you find hats. And so was there any hats at the yard sale? No, there wasn't. But you know what I said? Hey, y'all don't happen to have any old farm hats or anything in there? Dude, those boys were stumbling over each other to bring out hats. I mean, they probably brought out 2 bag loads, and they weren't all like farm hats. Like some of them were more modern, but I didn't care. You know what? I've been back to that house 3 years in a row, and every time when they see me pull up now, they're going to look for some hats because they're like, man, this guy buys hats. I think it's one of the things. So, and I always tell them, I said, hey, you know, next year. So for me, making contacts is all these things. Don't be afraid to tell people what you do. Like I know there's some people that are like undercover resellers, right? Like they go, they're like, oh man, I get, you know, not me, man. I tell them straight up, hey, I buy stuff. That's what I do, and I sell stuff. So I got to buy it cheap, but I'll buy a lot of it if you got it. I mean, I'll take it right off your hands, and then I just tell, you know, I tell true stories about it. Because one of the things I love about reselling, and I try to make this, is like, look, I'm taking something that somebody in your life cherished at some point. So what I like to do is basically we're upcycling, we're recycling, we're taking things that, you know, probably would end up in the dump. And now we're putting it in the hands of people that will appreciate it. And I always tell that story as well. I let people know that, hey, like your item ain't going to some trash heap. Like I'm going to, you know, repurpose this thing and sell it and get it out. So for me, just taking the time to have a conversation, like, and you never know where that leads. I know there's some people that pick with me. The first time me and Leroy went together, I could see him kind of looking at me like, what are you doing? Like, we've been here for 20 minutes, man. We need to get down the road. But then you never know where it leads. Never know where it leads if you hang out. Like these guys will tell you, usually it leads to someone's basement, or at least to someone pulling some stuff out of their attic. Like,
and that's a very important thing, Eric, what you just kind of said. And a lot of garage sailors, or like, you know, like even like resellers and thrifters I've talked to are kind of like, ugh, when I tell them this. But here's the main thing: I've already seen everything outside. I want to see what's inside.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you get inside the house, that's when you can find stuff that, you know, or they even forgot about to bring out. You know, sometimes when I talk about old clothes or old sweatshirts, you know, I always say like, hey, that bottom drawer that's got all that old stuff you ain't never gonna wear, but it's just there. You haven't thrown it away yet. You haven't donated it yet. Where's that? You know how many times you're like, you know what? Let me go look real quick. Or like, hey, come inside real quick. You know, like, hey, you know, and it's a little, you know, like, hey, I'm going inside someone else's house. But again, if you've already developed that relationship, I'm not asking like right away, like, hey, what's inside the house? You know, I'm not doing that. But once you get talking to them and they feel comfortable with you, you're like, yeah, I'll go inside. You know, like I'll go inside and take a look. You know, I've done that multiple times, and I've hit grand slams by doing that. Yeah, I had one where a guy opened up the closet and he grabbed one hat and they cascaded. It was hats cascading down. I was just like, holy crap. And another time, guy opened up his closet and said, yeah, here's all my NASCAR shirt collection. And just all over prints. All like next. So that, and then that pick I'll get to Leroy's second question in a minute. But yeah, if you get access to someone's home, like inside with their trust, you can start asking those kind of like more like, if you're looking for a certain type of thing, you can start asking those questions. Hey, like, you have any of this? You have any of this? Where it might jog that memory. Where a lot of people don't think about clothing and shoes and hats and old boots when they're doing a garage sale. So, but you're like, hey, I buy this, and they're like, well, I can get rid of this stuff right now, so why not? So that's another way too.
Absolutely. Leroy's second question. Why don't you
So
start?
it is how do you maintain that relationship after the second or third pick from that person? The relationship is a lot different. You need to categorize and let them know exactly what you're looking for. So you're not wasting their time. They're not looking for stuff for you that you don't want. So I always try to, what I'll do is I'll call my people. So I have an estate guy. I have another guy that goes to auctions and buys construction stuff, and I have one at the flea market that I deal with. And the estate guy, he calls me up. So he might call me up and say, hey, we're having an auction. Do you want to come look? Or he'll say, do you know anybody who can get rid of 400 cinder blocks? No, just seriously. And I try to help him, or if he needs help, I'll help him if I can, because trying to keep that, you got to try to keep it open. Of course, they want your money, and they know that you're going to give them money, but then it comes to, you have to build a little bit of a relationship with these people. I'm trying not to go into the other part of it because the cons of it. I'll do that in the next one, but just communicating with them. My guy for Christmas, I gave all of his kids $20. I just went around the house and just handed out. I did not have 20. I had to go to the flea market to make $100 so I can give all of his kids $20 a piece. And I was broke for the day. But 2 weeks before that, I got $3,000 worth of tools for $400.
Yeah.
So for me, maintaining it, like very similar to what Leroy was saying too, is, so if say that they bring me something or they call me about something and I get there and it's not something that I necessarily would buy, but I know they're trying to get rid of it, I'm going to try my best to give them ideas and help on how they can get rid of it. So like, basically explaining to them what I would do with it. Like, I would lot all of these up together, lot all of those up together, and then list it on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Nextdoor, all that sort of stuff. Because most of the time, these people that are trying to get rid of this stuff, they don't want to deal with eBay. That's why they're calling you, So it's important to do whatever you can do to kind of help them and achieve their goal while achieving your goal. Your goal is obviously to source stuff and get some good deals, but their goal is to get rid of stuff or to make a little bit of extra cash. So whatever you got to do to make them achieve their goal is huge in maintaining that relationship. Another important thing too that Leroy said is that, being upfront with people right from the beginning too, it helps them. So I mean, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I there's no way I can buy these 300 precious moments from you. I just I can't do it. Like, I want to help you, I really do, but I don't have the space, and then there's no room for me here, to make any sort of money. But this is not necessarily the thing I'm looking for. But if you had some glass, colored glass, or some old clothes, stuff like that, I'm game. I'm your guy, you know. So then they know now. So it improves the relationship moving forward, and then just always being punctual. Like once you kind of work out like your first deal with the person too, now you know kind of like what their like monetary frame is, and like that way moving forward, like you can kind of like know what to expect, and you can make sure that you don't like lowball them. And that also helps when you're up front being like, look, listen, like I can't make money on this at this price. Like it's a fair price for you to sell to somebody, but for me, it's not, I can't do it. It's not that it's not fair. It's just, that's not where I'm at. So just being upfront and you know, helping as best as you possibly can for you both to achieve your goals, that goes a long way in maintaining a connection.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and also too, while we're talking about connections, you know, maintaining connections, it's not always, you know, like not always buying either. Sometimes it's about selling to people too. I have a few guys that come and wholesale from me, and it's showing them like, all right, hey, I'm a guy to come to when you need stuff, you know. And I think a lot of resellers find themselves with a huge death pile or a huge inventory, and a lot of it's like, man, I would like, if I could unload a little bit of this, it would be nice. And so, you know, it's sometimes about developing those relationships as well and treating those people well, because I've, you know, I have one guy that comes in and he'll buy from me, and I'm not killing him on prices. That's the thing. Like, you know, I'm not killing him on prices because he comes back. And it's like, he's making money and I'm making money. So it's like, you know, you got to treat your relationships with respect as well, because you can't be like, hey, oh, this guy wants to buy from me. Oh, I'm going to gouge him. I'm going to gouge this guy. And guess what? That guy's never coming back. He's never coming back. You might get that one hit, but you're never coming back. So those are things too. So, you know, and it kind of works the flip side too. If you are somewhere and you find something, and this is kind of like what, you know, we'll talk about kind of messing up a relationship. Okay. I kind of messed up a relationship because the guy that I bought all the NASCAR stuff with, well, see, I technically didn't mess it up. I think his son did. But when I bought all those shirts, he was selling them to me at $10 a shirt. Okay. So I bought everything I could. And I was supposed to go back to buy more. Well, I think what happened was maybe one of the sons was like, maybe did some research into what I bought from them and was like, oh man, did y'all see that? So you kind of have to be careful in that realm. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like what Eric was saying. I always tell people I collect and sell to buy more. And that's kind of what we do. You know what I'm saying? It's phrasing it a different way. But I tell, like with the hats, I say, listen, I collect hats. I have over 5,000 hats in my basement. I collect them. I restore them. I resell them to buy more. You know, so it all works. So, you know, just, you know, being honest with people. Now, with the NASCAR shirt, could I have been more honest with them? Yes. But I ended up spending like $600 to $700 at that one. That's how much I bought. $10 a shirt. That's how much I bought. So it was kind of like, but the next time I called, they were like, no, we're good on we're good on selling all the clothes. The wife said that. So I never talked to the guy again, but the wife said that, and I was kind of like, okay, I kind of got the hint, and it's kind of like, hey, sometimes, you know, like we're talking about relationships. Sometimes you grow a beautiful relationship. Sometimes, and this was the second year I went to that garage sale where I got all the NASCAR stuff, and then sometimes the relationship just dies. So you got to be, you know, just ready for that too, where it's like, you know, for some reason they may not want to do business with you anymore. So it's like, well, hey, move on. Look for the next.
For me, like maintaining a relationship is one of those things. Like it does kind of migrate to a degree. Like for me, I have numerous folks that call me. I'll be honest, because they know I will buy certain things. That has changed over the years, like what I buy, because initially, man, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I'll be honest. Like, I'd buy anything, like, for the most part. If it was cheap enough, I'm buying it, and I'll buy a lot of it. And then I realized that, hey, you actually got to get rid of this stuff. So now, like, you do take a step back. Like, I remember, so I had a bunch of bulk buys to begin with by this one guy who's now a connection for me. He's like, he calls me probably at least twice a month with stuff like, hey, I've got this, I've got that. He runs a business where he's able to acquire a lot of things for cheap. So there was a time I distinctly remember I bought a bunch of DVDs off of them, but they were specific DVDs, right? They were all box sets, all stuff that probably 80% of it don't stream, is not out there, like stuff from when I was a kid. And I made money on that stuff. Like, I spent some money. I spent $500 on it, but I recouped that money within a couple of days, just because of what I had. And I actually still have a few box sets. That was 2.5 years ago. But since then, like, so the next time he ran into DVDs, he called me and he's like, hey, got a load of DVDs for you. And you know what I had to do? I had to go buy some DVDs because I was still establishing the relationship, right? Yes. So, like, there's stages in your relationship that you have to keep in mind. Initially, as you're kind of getting to know you, like that whole thing, when you start doing that, you're kind of feeling each other out. Like, okay, so like, this guy, is he going to look out for me? He's got other folks, obviously, that he can sell this stuff to. So, like, some of that, but I do be honest with him. I said, honestly, this stuff here is not as good as this stuff. I mean, just like I've talked to him about hats, I've talked to him about a bunch of things. So now, honestly, the last 3 times he's called me with hats, they just been straight goodness. Like, and so when it's that way, so I'm not hitting him with the low ball stuff that I normally would on that. I mean, I still get it cheap enough, like, because you guys know me, I'm cheap. But if you do that, like, I'm like, last time actually when I paid him, he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, man, this is good stuff. This is what I'm talking about. So then if like he starts to register too, just like we do when we buy and sell stuff, he's like, oh, if I can find more of this guy's going to pay a little bit more. Like, so that's the kind of stuff. So you're almost like, you're working that relationship to where people are beginning to understand exactly what you're looking for. And now they're out there looking for it, just like we do with our folks. Like, we have people that buy from us. They were like, hey, you know what? I know if I find this, that Bob's going to buy this, or, I know that I know Cernoch, we've talked about stuff because he's got a guy that if he finds sweatshirts that have the right stuff on them, he can literally sell them. He knows when he picks it up, it's sold. Like, and that's kind of what this guy has become to me. And I've got a bunch of people that look for different things for me. And now when they call me, then I'm headed their way. And maintaining that relationship is sometimes you may have to bite the bullet a little bit. Sometimes you might have to, like, for me, I bought a stack of CDs. And I'm telling the guy, I was like, man, this ain't the kind of media I like to mess with, bro. But like, he goes, man, he said $10, just take it. At $10, I'm not going to say, nah, man, I ain't going to do that. Like, I'm going to take it. It was a banana in the box full of CDs. I actually made money on them. I wouldn't have never even picked them up or listed them, but I did because I bought it. And then next time around, like, he actually toned it down. Like, he used to pick up all electronics for me. And then I told him, I said, you know what? I'm kind of backing up on the electronics. I actually gave him a list of names. I said, if you see these brands, this is what I'm interested in. Anything else, probably not. Like, just that. So it's kind of like, it's working your contacts. It's getting like to where they know what you're going to buy. So that way, neither one of you are wasting each other's time, right? Yeah. They can pick stuff up. They can buy it. The other little thing that I'll just add, like, as my kind of tagline to that one, also, get to know your contacts and the stuff that they like, because we're pickers, right? We're always out finding stuff. So you know what I do a lot of now with guys? Barter. Because what? The other day, Santa's Treasure ran some license plate in his auction, and I bought them license plates because my guy collects license plates. He loves them.
There you go.
So for me, now what? He's got hats for me. I've got license plates for him. And he's happy and I'm happy. And like, I'm not a license plate guy. I don't really sell license plates. I really, it's one of those things, but he likes it. He likes cast iron. He likes certain things. He likes signage. So if I find that stuff, I'm not selling it myself. I'm taking it to him because you know what that does for him? Now he's calling me. I wonder if he's got any more signs. I wonder if he's got any more license plates. So it's almost like role reversal to a degree. Hey, I've got to find some more good stuff for him, so he finds some more good stuff for me. And now, if you're talking about on a budget, that's the way to get around the budget. Because what? I buy cheap, he buys cheap. We're both gonna, be able to do that. So that it's like one of those things.
Yep.
That's like a little hidden hack that if you can find what your contact likes, collects, ask them right out of the gate. Hey, what are you into? Like, what is it you're looking for when you're out here, like picking, or if I'm going through storage units, or if I'm a clean out guy, what is the thing that you keep?
Yeah.
And then from that, then start to, hey, is there anything you're looking for? I'm out here picking all the time. Like, I can probably find it for you. Like that kind of thing. So that's just a little maintenance issue. Leroy, we'll let you start the next round.
So this one is the one I don't like. This is the cons of contact. And these guys have, this one will be pretty quick, guys, because these guys have been through it, trying not to get into it too far. Sometimes you got to take stuff that you don't want. You have to. If you go to an auction, I'm probably one of the only ones that I know that go to a lot of in-house live auctions. You're getting hit, baby. You're getting hit. You're eating it. That box of melted candles, you're eating it, buddy. Like, go wax your surfboard or something, because you got to take it. You got to take one for the team. When your contacts call you, you don't answer them when it's convenient for you. You answer them as soon as they call you. Even if you're busy, just say, hey, you know what? Right now I'm with the family. Can I call you back in the morning, or is that too late? Don't say, oh, I'll call you tomorrow. Make sure it's okay. Make sure you explain to them what you're doing. They like that, because you'll lose them. You will lose them. And like Cernoch said, if they come and go, contacts are gonna come and go. They're gonna either, and then I hate to say it this way, but they're gonna figure you out. They're gonna figure themselves out, or they're dried out. So they might think they can do it better because they're giving it to you, and you're always eating. So sometimes it's okay to say no. In a respectful way, sometimes it is okay to say no. I don't like saying no to people. I picked up buckets of bolts, okay, and fasteners, and there was some stuff that I didn't want from this guy last week, but I just grabbed it anyway. I'll still make money off it. I just got to play with it a little longer. But some of these contacts, if you don't respond right away, you're going to lose them. If you're overexcited, you can lose them. Yes. And sometimes you have to. Sometimes for me, I'll have to I'll do stuff for them. They'll call me up. Hey, can you help me move something? Man, I don't want to help you move nothing. But sometimes you have to do that. So that's just some of my cons on some of that, and we'll see what these guys have.
I'll tell you right now, I don't got not one con. I don't get the I don't get the sort of connections that a lot of people get. It's tough, just.
But you're gonna start getting them. So let's talk about when you do get them.
I mean, listen, I'm a straight shooter. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what the downfall could be. I mean, listen, I'm not buying. I'm not buying it if I can. There's no maybe. Let's say I'll leave it out for a slight chance. I buy some stuff that I don't want to buy, right? But I cannot come home with stuff like that because Josie will give me the side eye, and I cannot take the side eye from my wife. So I personally just cannot. I don't think there's any cons. I mean, I'll give you one con because this is a con that's relatable to me. When you find the bargain, and it's a lot, and it's a fantastic deal, but they don't want to break it down. They want to sell all, right? And you want all of it, but you ain't got the money. You ain't got close to the amount of money. I don't even know if I call Cernoch, Eric, and Leroy, we might be able to put all the money together and buy it and split it. But I think that's probably the biggest con for me is just not having the capital to buy out things. Like you see a lot of times people just buy stuff out. Like I just don't have the capital right now to do that. If I were in that predicament, I would probably call these guys up and see if they were interested in it. And maybe like maybe like one or two other resellers that like I know like well enough to that I think would be interested. Or if I was on like 127 or 100 miles or something like that, and there's a bunch of us and we all wanted to split it and do like a draft or something like that, that I would do. But that'd probably be the biggest con for me.
I think the biggest con for me is like when you get very comfortable, like with your connection, you know what I'm saying? And it becomes like, all right, I still gotta make money, like so it's like not like arm's length having your connection out, where you don't want to get, and don't divulge all your secrets. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. Sometimes your connection can become your competitor.
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay.
Bars.
It's happened to me a couple of times already.
Yep.
Where you meet somebody and oh cool, I like what you do. All right, I'll show you. Like boom, 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 and the next thing you know, they're in your backyard digging up, your buried treasure. You know what I'm saying? Because you told them where it's at.
I just looked in my backyard to make sure there was nobody back there.
What I'm saying is now here's the thing. I am not saying that. Oh, I don't want I don't want to see you at my thrift place. That's not what I'm saying. It's when you start seeing like your RA type stuff. That was a big thing. My RA stuff. I had gotten cool with a few people at Gabe's and was, like, hey, look out for me on this and this. And then all of a sudden they had an eBay store and all the stuff that I was looking for from that place is in their store. Gone. Yeah, I go in the store, there's nothing there. I look at their eBay shop. Oh, there's the 15 pair of rare New Balances that came in to Gabe's, but I never saw them, but they're all in this dude's eBay store. So it's like that where you got to be a little cautious because like teach, but you don't want someone like really killing it. Now again, I've something like that, but like at my thrift spot, it's like, man, when I'm not there and if someone else is there that I know, cool, or if we're shopping together. Listen, we do shop together every once in a while when he comes in there. This guy I know, and I've taught him a bunch of stuff. But here's the thing, I'm still showing him stuff because I've got so much stuff that like at my honey hole, it's not a competition because they have stuff coming in all the time. So it's like if you're there, you're getting stuff. If you're not there, you're not getting stuff. So it's like we're there at the same time. I'm like, hey, did you see that sweatshirt? See that jacket? Because he knows like he knows certain things. If he sees a Woolrich coat, he's gonna be like, hey, Cernoch, look at that. Because he's not interested in that. Or if he sees a pair of combat boots, hey, dude, those are those combat boots you like. So it's that working relationship where you have to you have to find those people rather than the people that are like, oh, cool, dude. Now I'm gonna go and take over your entire identity and move you out of the way. So be careful with that. So I think that's a con. And then Leroy was saying too about getting too excited. Okay, getting too excited about items. Again, and ethically, people have different opinions on that. But I don't like to spend a lot of money. I'm cheap, so if I can get a $500 hat for $10, I'm doing it. Okay, I will allow them to sell it to me for that price. And I think that's what happened with the NASCAR shirts. Look, I said, how much do you want for the shirts? He said a number. I said, I'm game. So ethically, it was like, yes, I knew they were way more, valuable, but that's what they wanted. That's what I gave them, and we did. Now, the relationship ended because I think they knew, how much those were worth, why they didn't get invited back again. But again, you just move on and you do. So that, that is a con. You may lose some people after they realize, kind of, oh man, this dude just bought a $200 shirt from me for $10. He bought multiple of them. So it's something like that. And yeah, people are like, oh, you should go give them back money. Well, I know they live, but I don't know. If I'm not going to buy it back, I'm not going to give it. I can't give them any extra money. So, but yeah, those are kind of like the cons for me. Just getting too comfortable, getting too comfortable with your connection. Also, your connection becomes your competition. And then, yeah. So, those are my cons.
I would say con-wise,
Leroy wants to say something. I love the Leroy like this. Leroy
got it.
Give Leroy the stage.
Oh, sorry. No, Eric could have went. I'll forget. If I don't jump in, I'll forget.
I know, that's why I said it.
Yeah. So you guys know I do the flea market. Speaking about competitors, so you guys know I do the flea market. I'm at the flea market last weekend, and one of the guys behind me, he was selling me totes of his old China stuff that he couldn't sell for forever, right? He had them in a tote, couldn't sell them. So he sold me four totes for $30, right? Not even $10 a piece, right? So I buy them, and I spent the whole day sorting them, putting them in my bins, sorting them, putting them in my bins, putting them in my bins, sorting them. The next week I wasn't there. The following week I went, and I said, "Hey, you got some more stuff on me?" He goes, "Oh no, I didn't see anything." I look over on his table, and he has all bins now, like me, and he got the stuff in the bins. He goes, "Well," I said, you found something good, huh?" He goes, "Well, if I see something that works, I'm gonna do it." And I said, "No, here's the problem." I said, "You don't have the 3 Ps. You need the 3 Ps." I said, "I have the 3 Ps." I said, "Personality, pricing, and presentation." I said, so you can do whatever you want to do, but I'm going to tell you right now, until you have my personality, my pricing, and my presentation, good luck. I'll see that stuff in a couple months. And I said it just like that because I was pissed. I was pissed off. I was like, for real, man? But they do that to me all the time. These people think that I'm a rookie, man. I'm done. I'm done.
Highest form of flattery, Leroy.
Yes.
That's what they say. For me, when I think of cons, it's along the lines of Cernoch about getting comfortable. Also, like, don't. It's weird for us to say don't talk about it because all we do is talk about reselling, like on this podcast. Podcast show. We never really call it podcast, but when we talk about reselling, but the problem is too. I'll tell you this. When you're buying, like for me, I try to be I'm not going to do that in front of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause what happens, I have done it. And then if you're not careful, someone scoops your stuff the next time around. And I think, I think all these things kind of merge together about like, we started out talking about how do you start a relationship with somebody. And I think starting a relationship is key. And then getting to know that person along with starting that relationship. And because then, is this someone I can trust? Like, and how far can I trust them?
Yeah.
If this is somebody who is just in it sheerly for the money, if someone offers them more money, then if you haven't developed a bond, a relationship between the two of you, they're going to take the money every time, and they're going to take more from the next guy. And next thing you know, they're opening an eBay store. Next thing you know, they're doing the same. Next thing you know, they're at the flea market. Next thing you know, like if you show them like, hey, this has extreme value and you can't trust them. Now, if you find somebody like us Okay, us prime example, one-stop shop. Every week we drop bargains in here for you to make money. Because you know why? We're not interested in top dollar on every item. Would it be great if we got it? Yeah, fantastic. Here's the problem. Like myself, Cernoch, I mean, gosh, Tim's in his kitchen right now with stuff sitting behind him. Like we're all loaded with stuff. We're like, come and buy it. Come and buy it. Because you know what? We can't work hard enough to get it up. Like not all of us are gonna list 200 plus items a day. We just ain't. We ain't got it in us. I'll just be honest. Like, ain't no way. We ain't got it in us. Like, I mean, could we do it for maybe a day? Yeah, and then you wouldn't see us for 3. That's just how it would work. Like, I mean, I listed 80 that one day, and I was cooked. Like you guys are. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna take a break. We used to do 8-hour listing. Now, as we've gotten older, you know what? Now we're like, hey guys, we got to cut this back like 3 hours. Like we can't be going to 8 hours. Like it's one of those things. So when you think about these things, though, for us, if you can find somebody who's like we are, they'll say, look, I know I will never sell all this stuff. So what am I doing? I'm looking for a guy. Like when I first started going to estate sales with some of my local companies, you know what they did with the clothes? They threw them in the garbage.
Yeah.
Or they donated them to a thrift store. So initially I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy some of these clothes. Not all the clothes, but I'm going to buy some of the clothes. And then I started buying some of the clothes. And now you know what's happened? Bro, I go into some of these sales and they've got tags hanging on some clothes. I'm like, bro, am I back at the Goodwill now? Is this the Goodwill now? Like now we've got jackets for $25 that used to, y'all had them in a pile in the corner in the lawn and leaf bag. Like, so, I mean, there's things to where cons, I would say, once you just navigate how you interact with people, you know, it's like, hey, I'll take these, I'll buy this off of you, I'll do this. And then sometimes you do have to take it all. Sometimes you do. And that is a serious con because now what do you do with it? Like if I go in there and say, hey, I'm going to buy all your jackets, give me a price. And then half the jackets are no good, but there's that one jacket that's going to double my money on what I just paid. Yeah. So sometimes I take it all, and that's a con. But then, gosh, you could donate it worst comes to worst, or you could just put it in a big box and sell it to somebody else. Like that's, they may be happy. There may be a flea market guy that's there, and you say, hey, you want to buy the rest of these jackets? Like, here it is. You know, it is one of those things. I think cons it's part of it. It's part of having contacts. It's part of, you know, but the more relationships you make, and my last little tip, I'm going to pass it back to Cernoch, is look, continue to make new contacts.
Yes.
Like don't get lazy and say, hey, I got this guy. I got my one guy, because when you got your one guy and something happens to your one guy, then you got no guys. Like for me,
I was just gonna say that I don't think it's a con for a relationship to end, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's okay if a relationship ends. I think it's okay if you're continuing building other relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've had many other relationships end where it's like, you know, like I was doing the vintage expos, going out to Morgantown and, you know, selling clothes out there. Well, guess what? It didn't really fit into my schedule anymore. It didn't fit into like kind of what I was doing anymore. So I stopped doing that. Now, will I never do it again? I don't know. Maybe the right circumstances come. I might do it this spring. Who knows? But it's like, but again, if one relationship ends, it doesn't mean that, you know, like again, like Eric said, make sure you're developing more relationships, handing out more business cards, talking to more people. You know, like, man, I got a whole bunch of business cards. I always have a stack of like 25, 30 of them in my car every time I go out garage sailing. I always have them in there because maybe on a random Friday I'm driving around and, oh, there's a yard sale. You never know. You put that card in someone's hand, boom, you just made a new relationship. So it's all about those things. Don't worry. Where one ends, another begins. So
Any final thoughts, guys, on the relationships?
If your contact gets greedy, drop them.
Yeah.
That's why Leroy stopped talking to me for a couple weeks. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know. For me, man, when I think about making contacts, I do think about, because I've heard guys in the past that do say that they're afraid to tell people what they do. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. So what if people look at you? Whatever. Like, who cares? I mean, are they stroking your bill check? Like, I don't know any of them that do it. I mean, like, hey, when you start paying my bills, you can have an opinion about how what I do.
Listen, I will tell you one thing though. I've never been able to put contacts in my eyes. It's something weird about touching my eyeball. Like I don't know how people do it. I really just don't know how people do it. Justin's like, why don't you get contacts? And I'm like, I can't sit there like, no, I just, it's not.
No, that's the wrong contact. That's the wrong.
I can touch my eyeballs. Like,
no, don't do it. Don't do it. I can't.
I just wash them every now and then.
He can't touch his eyeballs.
Yeah.
Can you wipe your
What you got to do, Tim, is you got to do like this. And then you touch it.
I tell you, it's funny you say that, Leroy. Like, I walk around with socks, can't touch my eyeballs. Last night, Josie and I were watching season 5 of Yellowstone, and I told Josie, I said, I think I would have made a damn good cowboy. Like, I feel like I could have been a cowboy. Like, I feel like I fit the cowboy, part. Like,
I think you'd suck as a cowboy.
What?
Hey,
let us know in the comment section below.
Have you ever rode a horse, Tim?
I would make a good cowboy.
Have you ever rode a horse?
I've been on a horse. I've never ridden a horse.
Who in the comments? Who would you choose as your cowboy on this panel? Who would you want as your cowboy?
Oh yeah, rank everybody. This is a good test to see who watches all the way through. In the comment section below this video, leave a comment and rank the 4 members of the Reseller Information Network's cowboy ability and put us in order of who you think will make.
I was going to tell you
to the left.
Yeah, maybe come up with cowboy names. That'd be fun.
Too.
Cowboy handles for all of the RIN.
Listen,
so you have to choose.
Cernochs from Texas, guys.
Hey, I'm not trying to influence this at all, but I am from Texas. I can get a little drawl going, you know what I'm saying? House duty. But also, who else has done a whatnot in full Western gear selling pearl strap shirts? Okay,
I still have that picture of you, by the way.
All I'm gonna say is when you go in the comments, put your favorite, do from worst to, and put them in your cowboy name. So whatever my name would be, that would be me, and then Tim Cowboy would name, and then Eric's Cowboy name. This is Cowboy.
Do cowboys have names like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nicknames, man. You gotta have nicknames. The cowboy.
Like Spitter.
Yeah. I mean, dude.
Hey,
the rodeo, man. I mean, usually it's like Bo or Buck or something like that. Yeah, like James Bo Hillbilly, like something like that.
I've never been to a rodeo. That might be kind of fun.
Coming down the glass driveway, we got Cowboy Glassman. Oh, it's getting late, guys.
So have you been on a horse that you didn't have to put quarters in it?
Yes.
No. Oh.
I could do the bull ride, mechanical bull ride too. I might need 3 ibuprofens before and after, but
yeah, you might need 6 ibuprofens before and after.
Yeah, 3 before, 3 after.
We'll find out who from our fans will pick.
Yeah, my granddad had a farm. I have rode horses. I'll be honest, I'm scared of them though. I'm scared of them.
Guys, I lost the fantasy. Don't make me lose this one.
Dude, horses' teeth are huge.
Yeah.
like when they Mr. Ed you and give you that smile, you're like, bro, like you get away from my hand.
But see, like I'm like a whisperer though. You know, like I'm a whisperer of all
Oh,
things.
Hey, 127 this year. We're finding a horse farm. We're gonna take Tim out there and see if how much whispering he does.
We're gonna pull him on bareback. So
Hey, if you see Tim on his next auction and he's like, "Hey guys, got this glass right here," he done whispered one into taking a finger off.
You look like John Wick just now because I'm watching John Wick.
All right.
That's what I do for magic tricks for kids in India. I do the whole.
Love it.
Wait, that was really good. How did you do that?
Like this. Wait,
How'd you take the finger off your
let me
hand?
get the camera angle right?
Oh, so you have okay. You're using this thumb as your top part.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to be able to bend your thumb in the right way.
You can't
Yeah,
say the trick, Tim.
Spoiled the magic trick. Hey, we do appreciate all you guys for watching. If you've made it this far, you've caught the entertainment portion of the show. So, hey, leave us a comment. Don't forget them cowboy names. Maybe we need to all pull a hat next week. Unfortunately for me, I need a bucket hat. And usually the cowboy hats I find are a little on the small side. So, hey, we might just have to settle with.
I think I'm gonna wear a cowboy hat next time we all meet up and go picking.
There we go.
I'll supply them. I've got like 5 or 6 of them.
Hey, bro, if we're up there in Virginia with you could probably just go straight overalls, like overalls, Western. No, what you need is you need to find one of those big belt buckles, bro. Just like roll around with the tucked in Western shirt and the big belt buckle.
Bro, hey,
With jorts.
listen, if he ever comes by, if he ever comes here, I'm gonna put him in a full Western kit and take some pictures.
Hey, that's the deal, right? Because usually 100 Mile he meets up with you on the way, and yeah, get him all geared up for the 100 Mile yard sale.
Right.
We'll stop and get a little hay you can put in the corner of your mouth. Yeah. Hey, y'all, we're out here some yard sale deals.
Listen, I almost got a date, and I still have his clothes on, so I'm done with all this.
Oh yeah. Hey, thank you guys for watching. We're gonna give people a chance to talk. Hey, for me, I will be doing every Thursday for sure and Tuesdays on One Stop Shop. So keep a lookout on that. Running auctions. If you're not a member over there, go ahead and take care of that. Remedy that right now. One Stop Shop, RIN.net. We also have links down below where how you can save $5. You can use anybody's code here on this panel. Usually it has to do with their name. So just if you need help. Only Tim's OTY. He ain't got no alibi. So,
all right. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, I got a fortune cookie. So we're gonna open up this fortune cookie because I had Chinese food last night, and we're gonna see what our fortune is. We're gonna see what the RIN fortune is. So here comes the.
Please be good. Please.
All right, here's our fortune for this week. Oh man, it killed it! All right, here's your leaving message. We can read it. Be smart, be intelligent, and be informed. There we go.
hey,
RIN fortune cookie.
Leroy.
Guys, just don't buy 2,000 bolts that you're gonna put nuts on, because I'm putting nuts on every bolt. But I've been up since 4:30 a.m. I'm already done with my listing, so now I'm playing. I will be on Buck Mountain Show tonight, hanging with the guys over there. But that's gonna be my backup crew in case I don't make it here. I appreciate all you guys, and I'm just gonna say, giddy up, guys, giddy up.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome and thank you all for joining us on this here show called the Reseller Information Network. My name is Buck, and I'm here to ride some horses, flip some cattle, and do it with some spurs on my feet. I want to thank you all for all the love and all the support. I want to thank you all for the Texas toast. We appreciate all of it. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to tell a friend about the RIN Reseller Information Network.